That seat is for my real daughter. Move. My father didn't just say it, he made sure everyone heard. There were at least 80 people in the room. Colleagues, friends, family, all dressed in polished smiles and formal clothes, gathered to celebrate his retirement. And then, he pushed me. I stumbled backward, my heels slipping off the raised platform before I hit the hardwood floor. The sound echoed louder than it should have, maybe because no one said a word after. I was wearing my mother's dress. Navy blue, soft silk, the same one she wore on her last anniversary before cancer took her away. I wore it that night for him, to honor everything we used to be. I didn't know I'd end up on the floor in it. But what my father didn't know, what no one in that room knew, was that the real daughter he had just offended had been stealing from him for months, and my husband had proof. My name is Heather. I'm 31, and this is the story of how I almost lost my father, and how the truth nearly destroyed everything. To understand that night, you have to go back years earlier, back to when things still made sense. My dad was a construction foreman for over 3 decades. He believed in structure, in strength, in things that held weight without being seen. Everything supports something, he used to tell me. I didn't understand it as a kid. Later, I became a structural engineer and realized he wasn't just talking about buildings. My mom, on the other hand, held our home together in quieter ways. She worked night shifts as a nurse, but still made sure she was there when I got home from school. She filled our house with warmth, even when she was exhausted. Then she got sick. Pancreatic cancer. 14 months later, she was gone. I was 12. And after that, it was just me and my dad, sitting across from each other at the same small table, with one chair permanently empty. We didn't talk about it. We just lived around it. Then one day he told me he met someone. Her name was Victoria. She was elegant, controlled, the kind of woman who never looked unprepared for anything. She also had a daughter, Brooke. At first, everything seemed fine. But slowly, things started changing. The old wooden table? Replaced. My chair? Gone. My mom's photos? Moved, then removed. By the time I left for college, it felt like my childhood had been quietly erased, piece by piece. And I let it happen. That was my first mistake. What I didn't realize was, this wasn't just change. It was a setup. And 3 years later, I would walk into a room where my own father didn't recognize me as his daughter.
When I left for college, I thought distance would fix things. It didn't. Every time I came back home, something else had disappeared. My mom's garden? Gone. Her recipe box? Missing. My bedroom? Turned into a yoga studio. My belongings were shoved into boxes, sitting in the garage next to the old table my dad once built with his own hands. And every time I noticed, Victoria had an explanation. We needed the space. It's more practical. It's better this way. And my dad? He never argued. He just agreed. I stopped fighting it, focused on my career instead. That's where I met Marcus. He was the opposite of everything confusing in my life. Calm, analytical, impossible to mislead. A forensic accountant. We connected instantly. While I studied structures, he studied truth, especially the kind hidden inside numbers. We got married quietly. My dad was there. He even smiled. But Victoria left early, claiming she didn't feel well. That should have told me everything. The last real moment I had with my father was outside that courthouse. He squeezed my hand and said, "Your mom would have liked him." That sentence stayed with me for years, because after that, he disappeared. It started with one missed call, then another, then silence. I called on Christmas. No answer. New Year's? Nothing. Weeks turned into months, months into years. I called every week, left messages, sent texts. No response. Not one. Once I tried going to the house. Victoria answered the door. "He doesn't want to see you," she said calmly. I believed her. Twice. After that, I stopped showing up. Not because I didn't care, but because I had too much pride to beg. And she knew it. 3 years passed like that. 3 years of unanswered calls. 3 years of wondering what I did wrong. 3 years of slowly convincing myself that maybe he really had chosen a new life. Then one day, an email changed everything. An invitation. My father's retirement party. A formal event. Hundreds of people. And for the first time in 3 years, I had a chance to see him. Marcus looked at me and said something strange. You should go, especially because there will be people watching. I didn't understand what he meant. Not yet. So I chose my outfit. My mother's dress. The same one I wore the night everything finally broke. What I didn't know was that Marcus wasn't just taking me to a party. He was taking me to a moment that would expose a lie built over years.
The venue was beautiful. Too beautiful. Crystal chandeliers, polished floors, perfect lighting, everything designed to celebrate a man who had spent 35 years building his career, my father. But when I checked the seating chart, my name wasn't there. Not at the head table. Not anywhere. Victoria greeted me with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I didn't think you'd come," she said. Then she led us, not to my father, but to a small table hidden near the back. No name card, no decoration, just 2 chairs, placed like an afterthought. From there, I could see everything. My father sitting at the main table, Brooke beside him, laughing, touching his arm, looking like she had always belonged there, like she had always been his daughter. For a moment, our eyes met. I waited. For a recognition. For something. Anything. He looked away. Then the presentation started. A slideshow of his life. Photos from work, achievements, celebrations. Then family photos. Victoria, Brooke, more Victoria, more Brooke. No me. Not a single picture. Not even one of my mother. It was like we never existed. Then came the speech, and a special thank you to Richard's daughter, Brooke. Applause filled the room. I felt my chest tighten. That's when I stood up. I walked straight through the crowd, past every table, every stare, every whisper, until I reached the front. "Dad," I said. 3 years of silence in one word. He stood. For a second, I thought he might hug me. Instead, he pushed me. And you already know what happened next. But what happened after I hit the floor is where the real story begins. Because someone else finally stood up, and he wasn't going to stay quiet. The room was frozen, 80 people watching, and no one moving, except Marcus. He walked toward us calmly, adjusting his sleeves like he was about to present in a boardroom, not confront a family disaster. "Mr. Purcell," he said, steady and controlled, "I'm your daughter's husband." My father didn't care. Take her and leave. But Marcus didn't move. Instead, he asked one simple question. "When was the last time you checked your phone messages?" Confusion. Annoyance. Then tension. Victoria stepped in immediately. "This isn't the time." But Marcus cut through her calmly. "This is exactly the time." He pulled out an envelope, thick, heavy, and placed it in front of my father. Inside were documents, financial documents, and something worse. Proof. 8 months ago, Marcus said, someone changed your retirement beneficiaries. My father frowned. "I didn't sign anything." "I know," Marcus replied. "That's the problem. 2 forms, side by side, same document, different names. The first listed me. The second listed Brooke. 100%. And the signature? Fake." My father stared at it. Confusion turned into realization. This isn't mine. Then came the second bomb. Phone records. 147 calls. Every week. For 3 years. "Check your blocked list," Marcus said. My father pulled out his phone. Scrolled. Paused. And there it was. My number.
Blocked. The silence that followed was louder than anything before it. He looked at Victoria. You blocked her, and that's when everything fell apart. But the truth wasn't finished yet, because someone else had been watching everything, and she was about to expose the final piece.
Her name was Donna. Quiet, observant, precise. And she had been handling my father's financial records for over 20 years. She stepped forward calmly. That form was flagged months ago, she said. The signature didn't match, and it was submitted through an unusual email. Everything started connecting. The forged documents, the blocked calls, the silence. Victoria finally broke. Not the polite version, not the composed version, the real one. Yes, I blocked her, she snapped. She was ruining everything. Everything. That word said it all. My father looked like a man seeing his life collapse in real time. You erased my daughter, he said quietly. No one defended Victoria anymore, not even Brooke. Eventually, my father walked toward me. Slowly, carefully, like every step mattered. I believed her, he said. I believed everything. Then he apologized. Not just for that night, for everything. And for the first time in 3 years, I heard his voice again. But I didn't hug him. I didn't pretend it was fixed. I accept your apology, I said. But trust takes time. He nodded. And for once, he didn't argue. Victoria left that life alone. Brooke followed soon after. And my father? He pulled out the chair beside him and gave it back to me. Because sometimes the truth doesn't just fix what's broken. It shows you exactly how it was broken in the first place.